Hey everybody, and welcome to Talk Daily. I've been on a little hiatus, been traveling a little bit. I got to see the cars from all over the world. You got to travel a little bit. You got to see the world. You got to see a different perspective and everything. So I was out far away. I'll do a video about my travels, by the way. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if it plays, but Anyway, I was in the tropics, put it that way. I got a little bit darker world. That's why I was close to the tropics. So, and I'll make a video about that because you would not believe the cars out there. Like, really, the tropics is the most harshest environment on automotive. I don't care what you're talking about, the snow, when in the tundra. No, man. Literally right next to the ocean. The tropics area is unbelievable, like unbelievable what rust could do to a vehicle. But anyway, moving on, we're going from the tropics, and we're gonna talk about a subject that is really gonna hit home for a lot of people. If you drive Uber and you drive Lyft, and it's your side job or it's your full-time job, well, the future is eventually gonna be a Robotaxi. Those companies are eventually gonna pay for a company like, for example, this one, Waymo. If you never heard of it. Well, here it is. It's an article from Motor Trend and written by Mr. Scott Evans. I'll have a link to this article in the description below. So what's the story? This weird vehicle you're looking at, it's literally a self-driving vehicle. It's literally like Uber. You just go on your phone, you call it, and it shows up. And you just sit in the car, and it drives itself. There's nobody in the vehicle. It's based on this vehicle, the Jaguar 2022 Jaguar I-Pace. It's the same chassis. Again, I told you, electric cars are kind of like that, okay? In this case, it's electric. So I kind of give you, here's a couple of pictures of the vehicle, how it arrives. You just sit in it, and it's just its own thing. As you can see, there's a LiDAR on the top. There's a lot of sensors, a lot of cameras. You're on your phone, you select the ride, and where do you want to go, and it just shows up, and it's very uneventful, and it just drives you around. Couple of key things about it. Oh, by the way, all you can see on the side was our sensors, the LiDARs, a bunch of cameras. So I'm going to hit home right away and tell you about it, okay? So, yeah, this vehicle is actually, what's scary, it's very clever. Well, it's not really scary. I mean, it's amazing. Like, this car actually, according to the articles, they're saying that when it's driving, it sees an obstacle, it goes around it. And think to yourself, well, it's whatever, right? It's expected. No, here's the thing. As cyclists, this vehicle actually will slow down, wait for the opportunity to pass the cyclist, and then will pass the cyclist. I thought that was amazing. It also detects when a bus is about to pull over, the bus is going to pull over into the bus stop. We'll slow down, but then we'll kind of veer to the left and do what a human would do, right? We're not going to just stop completely behind the bus. You would expect it just to be safe, right? No, it actually kind of thinks about it and goes, okay, I'm going to go. Same thing, there's an example they were telling us when I'm driving 45 miles an hour going through an intersection. It kind of hesitated a little bit, but then it goes, I can make it, boom, and it just took off and went through the intersection. It still obeys the speed limit. And I just find that to be, like, this is very good. For example, right here, see, they're talking about the braking, how good it was, but then photographer Walker, this is the guy, triggered one van walking out from behind out a parallel park truck to get into the driver door, and cyclists clearly in the lane and not deviating, concerned the same in a van enough. Anyway, so basically the van followed the cyclist for a little bit and just went around him. That's the example I was giving you. The other one they're talking about where Waymo was surprisingly assertive. One saw the light change as we were approaching the intersection at 45 miles an hour. It hesitated for a moment and then accelerated to make the light. Another one, that's the example I told you about the city bus that began to pull over into a pit stop, and the van cheated to the left side of the lane to go around it rather than wait for it to pull over all the way. I mean, these are things that we do when we drive a human being, and this machine is learning, and of course it's been learning. It's been doing this for a couple of years now. They have a lot of data. They were talking again, when the sun is in your eyes, obviously it doesn't matter. The sun is in its eye. It actually could still see bumps on the road. Speed bump will slow down. So they were just saying, basically it does great, but it cannot drive when it's raining and it cannot drive in the fog. So in San Francisco, they're still dealing with the fog. This vehicle right now is in Arizona and in California, because Arizona is becoming kind of like California, allowing a lot of this technology to be tested on the road in the state. So currently, this car is in Arizona as in San Francisco. And then they talk about the costs. They're saying after several rides spanning 12 hours, many of them making the poor van go in circles by adding stops, our Waymo rides cost an average of $2.06 per mile. Trips range from less than a mile to just more than 15, taking as little as 1 minute and as many as 43 minutes. And the cost anywhere from $4.99 for 1 mile to 1 mile 6-minute trip to $22 for $23.14 for 15.5 mile 43-minute trip 2 towns over. Again, they're hailing it, saying it's really good. I told you again, the problem is the same thing, right? Fog, rain, can't do it. But again, they're raising a lot of great points in this article. One of them is this is technology. So Waymo is not the vehicle, it's the technology. So what's going to happen is that this technology is going to be sold for companies like Uber and Lyft, and then implement that on whichever vehicle they wish to have that operate. So this technology is not specific to the Chrysler, for example. It could be for any other vehicle. Waymo will making this hardware, will make the software and the hardware, and someone manufacture the car. Waymo does not want to manufacture a car because, again, they were quoting Tesla, making cars is expensive, and Waymo does not want to make the machine. It doesn't want to make the car. It's going to make the sensors. It's going to make the equipment mounting. What are you going to mount the sensors? They're going to give you the software and say, go ahead and pay loyalties, which is very, very clever. And they're hailing it, saying it does great. It's, again, just look at the inside. You sit inside of it, knows your name, start your trip. The logistics, I think this is really something I never thought of, but it makes sense, right? It needs a crew of people to clean it. Never thought about that, right? Someone needs to clean it. So it needs someone to clean it. It needs someone to refuel it. And after that, what are you going to do with these vehicles when the trip already expired? So what are you going to do when the vehicle arrives at its destination? After someone cleans it and somebody refuels it, the vehicle can still drive around and collect data for the road. And that's something that is good for the company because, again, it's collecting data. But also, they still don't know who's going to do the maintenance and repair. And you have to imagine that if it's in the city, it probably makes sense, right? You're going to take it somewhere to get it done. But what happens if you live in, far away from the city? It's going to be expensive to just have a facility to service these vehicles. So they raise a very valid points. And currently right now, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be a third party that's going to be doing the maintenance on these vehicles. So that you can see the industry growing already, right? You can see someone developing the software, someone's going to be developing the hardware, and someone's going to be maintaining the hardware, and it's going to be a third party doing the cleaning. It's going to be basically like a hotel. There's just so many divisions, Yeah, it's a hotel room, but there's so much going on in the background. That's the best way I could explain it. When you go to a hotel room, you check into your room, you get out, right? Oh, it's my room. Man, there's so much going on in the background to get your room ready, right? Same thing is going to be with these vehicles. And talking about the future, the liability. I made a video about Mercedes-Benz and how they're saying that we'll take responsibility for our AI, as far as the AI, but autonomy at level 3. Mercedes broke ground by doing so because nobody wanted to do so. And Waymo, this company is saying, okay, Waymo saying, yeah, we will be responsible for it. But they're taking their sweet time, making sure that everything is taken for account. And that also again mentioned a point I was thinking about. Don't think you can hit the payday by yanking on the steering wheel to cause a crash and sue. In rider-only operation, the Waymo 1 is programmed to resist steering input and quickly and safely pull over and park. So if you're trying to be, one of those people, not gonna happen. That's very good. So, again, it's amazing. Waymo has outlined a 4-step process for entering a new market, from manually driving and mapping the area to autonomous driving with human safety driver to the trusted tester program, Waymo employees and local resident to public operation. So that's the 4 steps. The company is trying to get the time. It all takes down to 18 months. This is coming soon. This is coming really, really, really soon. And if you live in San Francisco and Arizona, it's already been around. It's driving around. So, again, the writing is on the wall. This is happening, and I'm not saying that if you were driving Uber or Lyft, you're gonna be out of job in 18 months. But those companies, that's the future. That's their vision. Lyft and Uber and all the stuff, they're not in the business of employing people than in business and making money. And if they can just have a machine that does that, and the liability goes on the software developer, I'm pretty sure that they're basically going to take the cheapest route. So if this technology is expensive, they're still going to operate humans. If this technology is cheap, they're going to operate a lot of these machines. But as I said, currently, if it's raining, if it's foggy, if the weather is not good, this machine currently right now in its current configuration is unable to, I don't say unable, but it doesn't meet the safety requirement. So in the near future, but I don't know, like someone like Los Angeles, I could see this car being around. It rains like once a year? So I'm being sarcastic, but it doesn't rain as much as you think in California. So in Southern California, that is. So I don't know. We'll see. As I said, in San Francisco, they have fog. This vehicle cannot operate in the fog. Arizona might be Arizona is being tested in Arizona. Arizona could be a perfect environment, but again, the rain. So we'll see. Let me know what you think. You think this is a good idea? I think it's a bad idea. Would you take it? Would you be comfortable calling, the Waymo and just saying, hey, can I please get a pickup? And, you're on your phone, just click it. The van shows up. You just hop in it and on your way you go. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And as always, thank you for watching and subscribing. And it's good to be back. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.